Hello and welcome to my 4.1 Combat Rogue Guide. I am Devlin and I will help you with the various areas of the spec, such as talent choices, glyphing, stat priorities and reforging. I will also show you the basic rotation for the combat spec to give you an insight to how the playstyle works. But let's start off with the most basic, the spec. It's fairly straightforward and you are not really given that many options to customize the spec. I will let you know which talents are optional as we go along. Let's start off with the improved Sinister Strike. Sinister Strike is your main combo point building ability and you will want to improve it as much as you can. This talent is pretty much a given. Precision. Hitting your target should be something you want to do, so getting an extra 6% hit on your weapons and poison procs will let you reforge your gear to improve other stats than hit. Improved Recuperate. This one is one of the few optional talents you will have in the combat tree. As of 4.1, it improves your Recuperate to restore an additional 1% of your maximum HP and reduces all damage taken by 6% while Recuperate is active. Improved Slice and Dice. Normal melee swings will be a quite big part of your total damage done, and Slice and Dice increases your attack speed by 40%, and improved Slice and Dice increases the duration of Slice and Dice by another 50%. It certainly helps you get a nice rotation going and lets you spend more combo points on damage. Improved Sprint is another one of the optional talents. It removes all movement impairing effects when you use Sprint. It's pretty situational in a PvE environment, but it's not really that bad of a choice. Aggression. A 20% damage increase to your main combo point builder as well as your main finisher is pretty much a given choice. Improved Kick. Adds a 3-second silence to your target whenever you kick. One of the optional talents. You can take it if you want, but I haven't seen that much use of it. Lightning Reflexes. While the increase in dodge is nice, you want this talent for the increased attack speed. Revealing Strike. This is a new ability that came with Cataclysm. When used, it increases the effectiveness of your next offensive finishing move by 35%. You will use this ability regularly in raids and PvE environments in general. Reinforced Leather. An optional talent, but not something I would personally use really. Increased armor is not what I'm looking for. Improved Gouge. This is another optional talent and it has some uses in PvE in fights such as Sinister in Bastion of Twilight, but outside of that I can't see much use for it. Combat Potency. Gives your offhand and main gauche attacks, that's from Mastery by the way, a chance to grant you 15 energy. As all your special attacks cost energy, you will want to boost it as much as you can. Blade Twisting is another optional talent. You get a 40% chance to daze your target when you attack it. I haven't found any use of it so far. Throwing Specialization. This talent has pretty much always been quite useless and it has no practical use in a PvE environment. Adrenaline Rush. This is your biggest damage boosting cooldown as combat. Increases your energy regeneration by 100% as well as your attack speed by 20% for 15 seconds. Savage Combat. Increases your attack power by 4% and applies a debuff on a target you poison, which increases all physical damage taken by that target by 4%. Bandit's Guile. Another new talent added in Cataclysm. It's a bit confusing at start, but it's pretty simple. Basically, every 4th Sinister Strike and Revealing Strike you deal to a target will give you a buff called Insight, which stacks up to 3 times, increasing your damage by 10, 20 and 30%. This buff will reset if you build combo points on a new target. Restless Blades. Your damaging finishing moves reduce the cooldown of your Adrenaline Rush, Killing Spree, Redirect, and Sprint abilities by 2 seconds per combo point. Now that's a pretty good talent, as it allows you to use your Adrenaline Rush and your Killing Spree more often. Killing Spree, the final talent in combat. It makes you attack with both weapons every 0.5 seconds until 5 attacks are made. If there are nearby targets, it will make you jump and attack them, and if there's only one target, you will deliver all attacks to that target. Okay, now that we're done with the combat tree, let's see which other talents in the other trees we're gonna go for. Let's start off in Subtlety, and there we're gonna take Relentless Strikes. Now this talent gives you a chance per combo point to restore 25 energy whenever you use a finishing move, such as Eviscerate or Slice and Dice. What this basically does is reduce the cost of those finishing moves by 25 energy when it procs. And then we move on to Assassination, and there we're gonna go for Lethality, and it increases the critical strike damage bonus of your Sinister Strike by 30%, so another damage boosting talent there. We're also going to go for Coup de Grace, which increases the damage of your Eviscerate. Now we're not going to max this, we're just going to go for 2 out of 3 points, which increases damage by 14%. And lastly, we're going to go for Ruthlessness. And this gives you your finishing moves a chance to add a combo point to your target, which is nice. It's not 100%, but it's nice when you get a free combo point because they're worth quite a lot of damage. Alright, that's it for the spec part of this video, and let's move on to Glyphs. We're not given that many choices in terms of Glyphs here. For prime Glyphs, we're gonna go for Glyph of Adrenaline Rush, which increases the duration of Adrenaline Rush by 5 seconds, which is why you saw earlier in the video the tooltip of Adrenaline Rush showed 20 seconds, and that's with the Glyph. And we're also gonna go with Glyph of Sinister Strike, and this Glyph gives your Sinister Strikes a 20% chance to add an additional combo point to your target, which is pretty good because combo points are worth quite a lot of damage. And we're gonna go for Glyph of Slice and Dice, which increases the duration of Slice and Dice by 6 seconds. For major Glyphs, we're given a bit of a choice here, but personally I go with Glyph of Feint, which makes Feint cost no energy at all. It's very useful in AoE heavy fights, helps your healers out a lot. We also go with the Glyph of Blade Flurry, which reduces the penalty to energy regeneration which comes with Blade Flurry. It reduces it by 50%, so you don't suffer as much energy loss while you have Blade Flurry up with this Glyph. And I go with Glyph of Tricks of the Trade, and this Glyph reduces the cost of your Tricks of the Trade, but it also reduces the damage bonus your tricked target receives by 5%. And for minor Glyphs, it's pretty much what you want really. I go with Blurred Speed, which makes you run on water, which is useful in like nowhere, and Glyph of Poison, which makes you apply poisons 50% faster. Now that's nice if you need to apply poisons fast on the go in mid-fight, if you somehow forgot to reapply your poisons. And lastly, Glyph of Safe Fall. Now this one is pretty good in some fights, such as Throne of Four Winds. If you're on the Rohash platform, during the fight you will get put up in the air and you can take some quite hefty fall damage, so this helps you reduce that. And that's it for the Glyphs, and let's move on to stats. As far as stats go, agility is your #1 stat. It increases your attack power and your critical strike chance, and it's worth quite a lot, so that's by far the most valuable stat you have. As far as ratings go, you will want to max your hit rating for yellow attacks, that's special attacks. And with this spec, with 3 points in precision, you will need 241 hit rating to reach the cap for these special attacks. After that, you will want to max your expertise rating, or expertise, and you max it at 26 expertise, or in ratings it's 781 expertise rating. When expertise capped, you will not have any dodged or parried attacks when attacking from behind. After that, you will want haste rating. That's a pretty good stat for combat rogues because it increases your energy regeneration as well as your melee attacks speed. So, as mentioned in the spec portion of this video, white attacks are a pretty good part of your total damage, so you will want to increase it wherever you can. These stats are your main stats basically. You will want to get some additional hit to max or cap out your spell hit, which is for poisons, but it's a bit less valuable than haste rating. So we will focus on hit to the special attacks cap, we will focus on expertise up to the expertise cap, and we will focus on getting as much haste as possible. With these stats in mind, what you want to accomplish when you reforge your gear is to reach the different caps we just mentioned. The hit cap at 241 and the expertise cap at 781. Now your hit cap will most likely already be reached as it's very low. So that means we will focus on the expertise cap. Now if you have any gear with crit on it or mastery, those are the least valuable stats for you as a combat rogue, so you want to reforge those stats into expertise up onto the cap. Now once you reach that cap, you want to reforge all your gear into haste as much as possible. And if you can't reforge to either expertise or haste, you want to get extra hit for your poison spell hit. I will show you the stat order in the box below, so you can easily see how you should reforge your gear. And that is it for the first part of this 4.1 Combat Rogue Guide. Check out the next part for information on gemming and enchanting, as well as the combat rotation.